Yeah, we're here, and we're in the podcast zone.
We
Hooray!
haven't started yet.
Okay, fine, we're not.
Hello, and welcome back to Arctic Monkeys 2, Overheard and UniSFA podcast. I'm John. Cam is down with the sickness today. He just called in sick. So I have the equally talented Merlin here to fill in. Merlin, say hi.
Hi, I'm Merlin. I'll be playing bass for you on the Arctic Monkeys 2, sequel.
I said to say hi, not that other thing. And our guest for this week is James, our new UniSFA OCM. Say hi, James.
Hello.
James was like, or as I like to call him, literally anything other than James. I'm still working on a nickname for him. The current one is Nick, short for nickname. How's everyone's week been? Merlin's thinking really hard about its week.
Yeah, no. So I have a lot of the same weeks over and over again, and they all get filed into the week soup, and I'm trying to pull out anything interesting.
Maybe pull out some strongs out of the weeks.
Yep. I've been playing a lot of Civilization 6 in the past couple of days. My favorite put tiles down game.
You don't put tiles down. The tiles are already there.
Yeah, the tiles
They're there
are
for you to discover.
Yeah, well, you discover tiles, you build things on the hexes. I like to think of it in my head as putting down tiles, though.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing... What's a game where you play tiles to make it the Cascadia? That's a relevant game.
Catan?
Catan.
Caton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
Settlers
like
of Caton.
Settlers of Keaton. Oh, I gotta find my ship.
Play a lot of Settlers of Caton. It's my favorite board game.
I love to collect bricks and logs and trade them for some roads.
Welcome to the UniSFA podcast 12, where we just do accents.
We're not called that anymore. We're not called
or
that.
Are we?
Or are we?
Or are we? No, it's Overheard in UniSFA 12, and I've ruined the whole
It's
podcast.
actually Arctic Monkeys 2. James, how's your week been?
I mean, we had camp.
Yeah, camp, joint camp happened, color camp. Many things happened at color camp. Some we don't talk about. Some we do talk about, which is the point of this podcast. It happened over 2 days. It was a lot of fun.
Sorry, why did talking about camp make you sound so anxious, John?
Because I want to represent camp. Like, I gotta sell it to, like, all the people listening to this podcast who haven't been to camp. I don't want to let it down, you know? It's got a reputation to live up to, and I think camp did live up to its reputation.
Tears rolling down your face. Please come to camp.
Please come to camp.
Please come to camp. Yeah, tell me about camp, guys.
A lot of things happened. There was LARP. There was someone, guy brought Rock Band again, like, from joint camp. Like 4 guitars, like a drum set, like 3 mics, a projector, just for a Rock Band.
So I assume all of them are used simultaneously for the classic 9-person band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think one of the best moments was walking back from the dorms and seeing like 15 people huddled around this projector singing, dancing to like just random songs.
They weren't
fuck
random.
Yeah.
They were called in the business bangers.
Yeah, that's the industry standard, I believe.
That's the industry standard. I think we should bring that to like university marking too. Like more HDs. You get like a slapper. Oh yeah, I got a couple bangers last semester.
Oh no,
Couple
I got a
bops.
whiffle. My GPA's gonna go down.
Couple bops, and then one of the units was just a vibe.
Only a vibe?
Only a vibe.
Son, you're never gonna get a medical degree with vibes.
You need to study. You need to make sure that your medical units are absolute slappers. There was debates, which is always a classic. I think one of my favorite moments, some of my favorite moments, I'm going to go through some highlights. One was playing Screen Sheet, which is a FPS where everyone is invisible, and the only way you can know people where people are is by looking at their screen, because it's like that co-op where the screen is split. Split screen. and I just choosing my username as Big Sneeze, and then winning like every game. And then I would stand up and achoo at everyone else around me because it was Big Sneeze and he just won. The other was a game of Ultimate Chicken Horse where people just refuse. Where it was Ultimate Chicken Horse was like a competitive platforming game where you all collectively build the stage together.
Yeah.
And this stage, to get to the end, you had to jump up a wall, but there was a fan constantly blowing you down. So it was just us just jumping up the wall, getting slid down, and we keep trying, and no one would give up. And eventually someone got it, which just made no one give up even more.
Yeah.
So we were there for like 10 minutes
now
until everyone fell off. And then it was revealed that one of the players who thought they had died didn't, so the camera just panned to them in the corner. And they got a try. It was so funny.
Man, I bet that voice description of a video game was super good for the listeners.
They'll know what I'm talking about. They understand.
Okay. Tell them that John sent you.
There was debates as well. Thanks for your help with the debates, Merlin. There was some. I asked you for some help for some debate topics.
You did, yes.
Yeah, we got to debate whether anime was evil, or no, whether anime was a mistake and whether wizards were evil. We decided that wizards were evil.
Yes.
Sorry, and anime wasn't a mistake.
Yeah.
I'd like to all those listeners at home. I'd like to hear your opinions. James, what was your opinion on anime?
I didn't really get to say much because the debate really focused around does anime, I'm being serious with it, does anime help or prevent sex?
Yeah, no, it did. It did very quickly go into like anime and its effects on the
on the human psyche, yeah.
On the human psyche, but specifically Japanese birth rates.
No, I'm familiar
Shinzo
with
Abe
Spy
was
versus
brought
Family,
up.
Yeah.
Shinzo Abe was brought up, and Spy versus Family. No, Spy X Family, not versus Family. My favorite anime.
Yeah, well, that's how you know it's a Japanese production, because in the West it would be Spy versus Family.
Yeah, exactly. God, in the West it's always versus. It's your common man versus family. You know how it is.
Yeah, you know, the classic literary conflict.
The classic man versus man, man versus God, man versus himself, man versus his family.
Yeah, man versus family.
And who comes out on top in those?
Usually man.
Usually man. That's the...
So, how long did it take the scub debate to devolve into pointless screaming? Because I think the last time I was involved, it took about 10 seconds.
The thing is, it was very well moderated. Like, the first, 3 debates, Lorenzo was moderating, and they took it very seriously. Or at least had a lot of knowledge on moderating, or at least that's what it seemed to me. So it was, very strictly moderated. I do remember going into a bowl and laughing at multiple times during the debates. James, do you have a favorite debate memory? Was it the bit where Alistair got up and accused you of having weak moral fibre?
Right. I'm going to defend myself here. So, bit of backstory. I may or may not have sworn an oath not to say the name of a particular movie. Somebody else.
And would this be a recent Marvel production?
No, wasn't it DC? No, it was Marvel, wasn't it? It was a new Marvel hero.
Starring Jared Leto and Matt Smith, among others.
Among Us?
Yes, it is that movie. I can't say the name of it.
It stars like someone with starting with M.
I can neither confirm nor deny these accusations.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it.
You can't say it. You actually can't.
I can't say it. So it was initially going to be the debate topic wasn't about that. It was just about should we be allowed to break oaths made under unfavourable circumstances. So broad topic, more legal, nothing, not focusing on any oath in specific.
More legal than said movie.
It was obviously a money laundering scheme.
So I was for, because if you make an oath under duress, you should be able to break it.
Yeah. Have you made an oath under duress?
I mean, I did make an oath not to say the name of a movie. It wasn't under duress. It was during Roleplay for Life. I hadn't slept for 27 hours. So I want to count that.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation is a form of torture.
So initially, and then it was just going to be me for nobody was doing against because the person who was doing against dropped out. I was like, yes, win by default, get this through.
Oh no, they dropped out? Did they only get vibes?
And
they didn't even get vibes.
And then Alistair stepped up, and I was just going to do a nice civil debate because last time I did a debate, things got a bit out of hand, and I said some stuff. So this time was
stuff you regret.
I didn't say I regretted it.
You said some stuff you regret back on Twitter back in the day, 10 years ago.
And I was just making a nice calm argument that, we should be able to break these oaths. And then Alistair accused me of low moral fibre because I may or may not have be broken an oath to say the name of a movie.
No backbone, oathbreaker. Yeah, and Alistair defended his position. I was like, Alistair, what if someone holds a gun to your head and says, give me all your money, all the money you ever make in your firstborn child? And he says, if that happens, and you make that oath and you break it, you're weak.
Simply give away your firstborn child. Don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy about it.
Yeah, no, your mistake was expecting Alistair to be civil.
Is it a moral high ground thing? You just a pussy.
Thanks, Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim is currently the thing I'm reading, and it's I don't know, something is giving me the compulsion to read it. Something is forcing me to read it. I don't know. I think I can pinpoint the exact time, which is I was scrolling Tumblr, and there was a Tumblr post which was about some other characters I don't know, but the dialogue was from Scott Pilgrim, and then it hit me just I need to read this. I have to read this. So I dedicated 3 hours of my day on Friday before camp to buying the first Scott Pilgrim, and then I read it all and the second. And then I read it all during camp, and then as soon as I had time after camp was over, I dropped all the people I was driving home. I went and bought the next 2, which was a collector's edition. So it's all 6 of them, and I've just been reading it. I'm almost done. Well, almost 2/3 through. It's really strange and funny and strange again, and kind of cool and then strange. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna go. Yeah, 3. It's 3 strangers. It's like a full TF2 loadout. Okay, I'm gonna go to my Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim is a graphic novel series which had 6 volumes. It was released in 2000s, somewhere between 2000 and 2010. 2010 is when they made the movie out of it. It's called Pilgrim vs. the World. It stars Michael Cera. I cannot imagine Michael Cera being Scott Pilgrim because Scott Pilgrim is too much of a cheeky arsehole, and I can only imagine Michael Cera as that kind of weird, awkward teenager from Juno.
The way you say Michael Cera and then just the quick little inhale of breath afterwards makes you keep sounding like you're saying Michael Syrup. And I want to talk about the movie that Michael Syrup's the main character of.
Maple syrup?
Yeah.
Maple syrup.
He's the protagonist of Canada.
Of Canada?
Yeah.
What?
His name is Michael Syrup.
What movie is this?
Canada.
I thought you were talking about the country.
Canada, the movie. Made by Martin Scorsese.
Oh, wait.
Shit,
I need to search this. Is this real? Is this...
No, the movie Canada, directed by Martin Scorsese, doesn't fucking exist. You've been gotten again, you
I've been
fool.
fucking got it. Should we talk about some, what's the guy, Scorsese movies that do exist?
Sorry, Scorsese? Scorsese.
Scorsese that do exist? James, have you heard of, this movie that's been gaining a real cult following recently called Goncharov?
No.
1973 Scorsese movie?
Yeah, Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, Merlin, do you want to tell us a bit about Goncharov?
Yeah, okay, so Goncharov, 73 movie. A lot of people regarded it to be lost media. Recently, not really unearthed because it was always there, but sort of brought into more of a...
Someone was like, hey...
Cultural spotlight, yeah.
Check this out, you know?
Yeah, so, like, kind of like a mafia movie, a Russian guy called Goncharov finds himself in, Naples, quite a small contained cast of character. It's been, not highlighted, I don't want to say the word highlighted, but it's been kind of, its use of lighting has been, spoken a lot about.
I heard a lot about the shrimp scene as well.
Yeah.
Like the sheer simplicity of...
Yeah, John?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think of more shrimp puns. Keep going. Yeah,
Shrimplications of it.
So what do you think, the shrimplications of the movie in that scene? And all the shrimple involved.
Okay, that one was a reach, bud.
Shrimp, was it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I hope you leave all of this in so that everyone can hear you floundering all at once, which isn't a fish pun, I'm just calling you
like
out.
a shrimp?
Yeah, floundering like a shrimp. Okay, no, so, on a more serious note, Tumblr has collectively imagined a movie recently. Martin Scorsese's Goncharov is a movie that never has and never will exist, presumably. I think Martin Scorsese's dead.
I'm gonna search it up.
Yeah, is he dead? I don't know. Presumably he won't make any more movies in the recent future, though. But...
Tends to happen when you're dead. Not always, but tends to.
Tends to. But anyway, Tumblr has been collectively imagining Goncharov recently. But...
He's still kicking, by the way. 80 years.
Oh, good for him.
His last film, he was... The Irishman? I don't know.
Oh yeah, The Irishman. That got a couple of Academy Awards a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember people watching it.
I hear it's also like a gritty mafia piece. I believe that's the only movie that Martin Scorsese knows how to make, that son of a gun.
He made The Wolf of Wall Street. I guess it's a sort of mafia. Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, Silence.
Oh, Taxi Driver was Scorsese?
Yeah.
Of course it was, though. Classic Scorsese grit.
You got any Scorsese thoughts or thoughts on Goncharov, a film which may or may not exist? May not.
It may not.
I'm going to assume it exists.
Yeah, Jeff, fuck it. Like,
I believe.
If we believe enough, it exists. It's like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
The more you believe, the more it's real.
I do believe in Goncharov. I do believe in Goncharov. I do.
Have you been a good boy this year, Merlin? Do you want Goncha Claus to come and give you a 1973 film?
Goncharov is going to come to my house and shoot me in the head.
Goncharov's going to come to your house and leave you a nice little Scorsese movie. If you're nice, it'll be Taxi Rider. Taxi Rider.
Taxi Rider.
Taxi Rider.
No, okay. But, okay, so... One, this whole Goncharov thing is really funny.
True.
Because originally, the joke spawned from, like, a picture of some, like, boots with, what would usually be, like, a label for an existing movie.
No, an existing brand.
Existing brand on, like, the tongue of the boots. But what was actually there was just, like, the title card for Goncharov, a non-existent Scorsese movie.
I think what it was is...
Like a mistranslation of a real one that does exist?
Yeah, or like a mistranslation of, like, a word, or just, like, it was a fake brand or something. And someone was like, I don't... Like, why is there the title of some, like, long-lost Scorsese movie on my boot? And then everyone just took it and
this
fucking...
idiot hasn't seen Goncharov.
And then just took it and fucking ran.
Yeah.
Ran as far as they could go.
But my roommate, Jack Kay, friend of the podcast, clued me into, not like a little weirdness, but something interesting. So, like, the name Goncharov does exist in Russia, and it's actually, the name of a Russian novelist. And, Goncharov wrote a book called Oblomov. Oblomov was released, I want to say the mid-1800s off the top of my head.
Okay, please do go on.
Yep, and it's about the, it's a satire of, the Russian intelligentsia of the time. So the cultural class that's university educated, that is sort of, taste-making the cultural climate, that has access to, high levels of analysis, is just more able to, like, generate cultural capital than, like, a poorer, more working-class person. And it's kind of, like, satirizing the... So, I looked this up just for Goncharov. I am not a Russian, like, historian. most of the time. But I believe it's,
We only have one on the podcast then, so keep going.
1 out of 3 ain't bad, baby.
1 out of 3.
But yeah, it's a satire of, like, the Russian, like, socio-political climate of the time, and of this, like, yes, they're university educated, but, like, are they doing anything? Oblomov, like, can't get out of bed. The first 50 pages, he only makes it from, like, the bed to a chair. He can't do anything, he can't make important life decisions, and he dies, having never done anything with his life.
This feels like it's like, I may not be educated, but at least I'm not depressed.
Yeah, at least I'm not a fucking prole.
Yeah.
But I did a U quiz, right?
As we all do.
As one all does. And it was like, which Goncharov character are you? And I was like, ooh, don't mind if I do. And I got Goncharov because I'm a huge dick to Chad, by the way. Just for everyone at home.
That this is recorded, known fact now.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is recorded. But there was a list of characters there, and there are 6 characters in Goncharov. There's Goncharov, Katya, Ice Pick Joe, Andre, and then, like, 2 other people whose names I can't remember. I'm so sorry. But Andre is a character in Oblomov, and I can't forget. And that's been the Oblomov connection this whole time.
The Oblomov connection. The missing link.
Yeah, no, it does exist. Goncharov is real.
James, which Goncharov character would you be?
Ice Pick Joe.
Why pick Ice Pick? Why did you pick the pick? Is what I'm trying to pick at.
Well, an ice pick's a very useful tool.
Uh-huh.
If there's ice.
Especially if you're in Russia.
If there's ice or, like, a desperate need for lobotomy. I'd pick...
I think you'd be Katya.
Katya?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that a She-Ra character?
Yes.
Katya?
You remember, I'm famous She-Ra character Katya.
Ooh, I'm so evil and a cat. Ooh, I work for the Horde.
Yeah, and she, like, evilly plays with a little yarn ball. I don't know, I saw one episode of She-Ra.
Yeah, that probably happens in one of them. Oh no, I have abandonment issues.
Yeah,
Goncharov,
Dracula.
Don't leave me. No one can ever criticize my catcher impression.
I was really impressed with the Goncharov reference in She-Ra, I have to admit.
Yeah, they really were ahead of the time. Like, it really shows, like, how experienced the writers were. Like, how much knowledge they have of media that they'd have seen, like, you know, small cult classic films like Goncharov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noel Stevenson's just a big Martin Scorsese fan.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame they didn't, there was no reference to Ice Pick Jones, but, you know, that's how it is. James, before this podcast started, and by that I mean like a day ago, which, you know, technically, before this podcast started, I was born. I asked you for some shows and movies that you like, you can talk about. One of them was The Truman Show. So we all know The Truman Show, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you want to describe The Truman Show to us?
So The Truman Show is a very simple concept.
Yeah, it's about 3 orphans whose parents die in a fire before the beginning of the book.
No,
and
that's
then...
Bioshock.
So, The Truman Show simply, and the basis of the story, and this isn't spoilers, it's described straight away, is it's a TV show following the real life.
But it's a movie.
It's a movie about a TV show following the real life of a real person set in
But it's an actor. Because it's a movie.
Yes, John, it's a movie.
Yeah, so it's not a real person. It's an acting real person.
They trapped Jim Carrey in a little hamster cage and they wouldn't let him go until he filmed The Truman Show.
So it's a movie about a TV... Go on. I just want to make sure the audience understands.
I think you're confusing. All right.
Okay, so it's a movie about a TV show, right? Which is about a real person. But because it's a movie, it's not a real person, it's an actor. And then, to extrapolate a bit, because I know where you're going, right? He's in a TV show where everyone else in his life is an actor, but they're actors playing actors, because it's a movie about a TV show. So the actors are playing actors who are playing real people as opposed to the actor playing a real person.
I think to say that it's a movie about a TV show kind of confuses the point, because that would imply to me that we were seeing the process of the TV show being made. I would argue the TV show is just more of like a setting device, if anything, to like contextualize how Truman sees the world, and like,
you know what? Let's rewind. I'll cut all this out. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not cutting this out. James, what is the Truman Show? I mean, welcome back.
you have
Scott
nailed this joke.
It's not as shrimple as that. What is the Truman Show?
I don't know anymore.
Okay, so actual explanation here. The Truman Show is a movie about the character Truman, who is played by Jim Carrey. Truman has lived his whole life thinking that he is a normal man, when actually he is the main character of a TV show called The Truman Show, which has been devised and constructed with him not knowing that he is in a TV show, that everything around him has been fabricated for the purpose of entertainment.
Yeah, and it's like streamed 24/7.
Yes,
over TV,
which means the Australian audience is getting a really raw deal out of the Truman Show. Truman's still asleep. Yep.
So what my thought was,
He snored.
if you
Snore
were
emoji.
if you were on the Truman Show, so if you're on the Nick Show or the Merlin Show or the John Show, would you do you think you'd know? Do you think you'd find out? Like, do you think you'd realize, or do you think you just live your whole life like that?
Do they have to copyright strike the TV shows that I watch?
What?
Does, like, the stream of the Merlin Show have to go off the air when I'm watching Supernatural?
What? No, Supernatural doesn't exist. They made it just for you.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
They forced Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins and Jensen Ackles into a tiny little box just for my enjoyment.
Well, they're not called that. They're called like Joe Broseph and like Timmy the Rock and like Leonard Scorsese. Those are their real names, and then they become the actors of like Misha Collins, etc.
Yeah.
And then they act out the thing. No, actually, probably what happened is like in the real world, Supernatural is like, they don't need to copyright strike it because no one watches it, right? They just give you like the bargain basement bottom, like of the mill, like shows that no one's gonna care about.
In the real world, Supernatural ended, like, really well. They just filmed a secret, like, shitty ending just for me to explode my brain about it.
Just for you to explain. They paid all those people to blog about it on Tumblr.
Yeah.
James, do you think you'd realize?
Yeah, I mean, who'd want to watch me?
I mean, who'd want to watch Truman? He's just a guy.
I mean, as kind of from the movie, it's like, why would anyone actually want to watch this?
Well, we don't know why until we experience it. That's why I'm suggesting, if any of you out there have a kid, I'd like to run an experiment.
Alistair and I had a running joke in the car for a long time where we pretended that we were in hell being shown footage of ourselves driving, and every time we mounted the curb, we would just, like, turn to the rear mirror and say, "This one's for the folks at home."
Also, James, you said when do you think you'd realize, James?
Yeah, what would be the breaking point?
Yeah, what point? Well, how old was Truman when he realized? He had
57.
No, he wasn't. He had like a wife and kids.
He was 10.
He's got a wife and kids at home.
I don't know, 30s or 40s?
Yeah, I think he was
Probably 30s. I'd say
30s.
35.
Yeah.
I think just Jim Carrey playing himself, really.
Yeah, whatever nebulous age Jim Carrey is.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, he's a Play-Doh man, and I think he may be stuck that way. The wind changed direction or something when he was acting.
I mean, The Truman Show is one of the very few movies where Jim Carrey is playing a very serious character. Everything else Jim Carrey's done has been comedical.
I liked Yes Man, that was good.
Yes, man,
Jim
was
Carrey
good.
of the dubious age of 60.
He's what?
60.
Wait, Truman Show came
What?
out 1999, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So I guess he would have been 40?
1998. He would have been
Truman Show's 20 years old,
36.
guys.
36.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I think I would have put Truman as a little bit older.
Even though, even then, he's still like a goofy kind. Truman is like a kind of a goofy guy.
Yeah, he's a goofy guy going through, like, miserable Do you guys ever think about when they just brought Truman's dad back from the dead after, like, throwing him overboard?
They did do that, yeah.
Truman Show spoilers, by the way. Oopsie.
They didn't bring him back. It's that Truman recognized the actor.
Yeah.
Because they've recycled him to, like, just play like a random guy. And he's like, wait, Dad, is that you? And then everyone shuffles him off. Hey, welcome to us. We explain the entire plot of the Truman Show. Remember that bit where he goes to the nuclear power plant?
I think that watching the Merlin Show would be very strange for a viewer because I like to pretend that I'm being sponsored by brands all the time. I will be alone in my kitchen and, like, turn to face the windows and, like, hold up. Oh, Woolworth's coconut creams. And that's just, like, entertaining for me. That's something I like to do in my spare time.
I do like to, at least in my head, I do like to narrate things that happen sometimes. Or, like, pretend I'm teaching someone something. So I reckon if I got better at verbalizing that, or they had, like, a way to read my mind, I'd be really good because I'd, like, narrate my own show. And I'd teach them useful skills, like where the club room is.
If you guys were going to put one person that you know in a show, who would you choose?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey.
I'm going to lie. Yeah.
No, I've got the answer to this. Mm-hmm. Only one person. Adam Sandler.
Just... Welcome to James and Merlin's tour of Adam Sandler's, like, empty cube of space.
Donald Trump, he wouldn't realize it and it would be very entertaining.
You put a mirror up and Donald Trump wouldn't recognize his own reflection, so he'd just be eternally scared at the other Trump that just sometimes appears in there.
It's like a cat.
Yeah. I think the person that I would put in my cube is my roommate, Jack, who I mentioned,
Earlier.
clued me into the Oblomov connection. But I think the thing that makes Jack perfect for, like, a Jack show is that sometimes he'll just talk to my cat, Bo, without realizing that I'm, like, awake and around and listening to him. So he'll, like, watch Bo, like, scrungling around under the couch, doing whatever he does down there, and he'll say to Bo, "Sir, you're making quite a nuisance of yourself. I'll have the valet come around to get your car." And I'll, like, sit up, revealing my presence and go, "Hey there, Jack, you good, man?"
James, what's your favorite show ever?
No, hold on. More interesting question. James, what's the show you've seen most?
Yeah, that's a better question.
Ooh.
What's the show you've seen most?
Oh, I've got a really embarrassing answer for this.
Yes,
oh, no, go
perfect.
on. I've got no shame.
Okay. The show I've seen most, because it was just on all the time. There's lots of episodes of it.
Supernatural.
No, I gave up with Supernatural, because after season 5 it would...
I gave up after about one episode.
But my special little boys, you don't understand.
No, we can't let James get out of it.
Yeah, no.
Let's talk about Supernatural.
No. What were you going to say?
Yeah, tell me about Supernatural, James.
What were you going to say?
Okay, The Big Bang Theory.
Okay, yeah. Interesting.
So no one told you, like...
Yeah.
The Big Bang Theory intro.
Problems with American sitcoms, there's just so many episodes. They're always on. It's just 20 minutes of nothing, essentially, but...
Hang on, I want to try something. Bazinga.
Zimbabwe.
he had to hold back a laugh and a smile. He was trying so hard. He's a true big banger. He's a true BBT.
Okay.
He's a true theorist.
I think for me, I was like,
just a theory. A Big Bang theory. Sorry, please continue, James.
I wish academic articles were like that. What's the limitation of your study? That's just a theory.
I think
a scientific theory. Thanks
for reading.
Thanks for citing. please do go on.
I think every academic journal should end its abstract with, "This article will blow your mind."
Every article should end with, "Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see articles like this one." Remember to smash that motherfucking paywall.
I think every abstract should be like, if you want to know about the study so bad, why don't you read it?
I bet you won't, because you're a pussy.
Methods. Come here, I'll show you.
Come closer, man.
Discussion. So did you see the new movie that came out?
You see that new Martin Scorsese flick that came out recently?
Conjure of like it was sick. You know, it was 1973, like Scorsese. It came out the same year as the our sample size.
Yeah,
9/7.
I liked it when he said it's Gonshin time, and then he gonched all over the place.
Should we go on our Christmas segment?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
It's
trips to Coles have let me know about, it is now Christmas time.
It's peak Christmas season, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's like a week off the end of November. It's peak Christmas season. And so I think it's the perfect time to talk about our favorite Christmas movies, including...
Yeah, Santa broke into my house and tripped all of my fuses, and now I know it's Christmas time.
Gonsha Claus came in. What's your favorite Christmas movie? I'm not referring to... I looked directly at James, but I didn't specify. My favorite... No, I don't have a favorite Christmas movie, actually.
That sentence went on many twists and turns. It was a real emotional
journey. I like to
journey.
take our viewers on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And our listeners at home or on the bus
and
through a nice
else.
Cruisy ride.
Mm-hmm.
So my favourite Christmas movie, obviously there's the joke answer, but everyone does this, Die Hard.
Yeah, no, that's a good joke. It's a good bit.
Everybody does it though. It's still really but my favourite Christmas movie, I think it's one of the best adaptations of a Charles Dickens novel, is A Muppet's Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I hear really good things about Muppet's Christmas Carol.
It's a Muppets movie, Christmas Carol, but the songs in it are brilliant. They have Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge, which I don't think quite works because Michael Caine is just such a nice guy. I couldn't see... You can't really see him as this nasty moneylender, but overall, he does a fantastic performance. Once you get past that, once you get to see the ghosts and shows the light aside, everything is really well choreographed. There's never a boring moment.
They don't Muppet it up.
Footnote: who would you recast in Michael Caine's place if it was up to you?
Jim Carrey, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. On that, obviously there's a new series of unfortunate events adaptation with
I don't know if that is obvious.
I mean, it's on Netflix. I think at this point it's more well known than the first one.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But Neil Patrick Harris is Count Olaf. Which was fine. He did a funny song and dance, but Jim Carrey is Count Olaf in the movie version that he did, that strange electric way that he's able to manipulate his face, that aura of malevolence that can overtake him. Chef's kiss. He was absolutely perfect for the role.
Yeah.
I was sad to see him go.
I think Neil Patrick Harris did a fine job. I think Neil Patrick Harris is a really good actor, but it's the case that Jim Carrey is just so unique in his performance that you're drawn into it instantly. Neil Patrick Harris's Olaf was more stiff, and lacked that series of unfortunate events. Overall, it's a quirky, wacky sort of comedy as opposed to what it's supposed how it's presented as this dark tale. I think with Neil Patrick Harris, it felt more like a dark tale, where Jim Carrey, it felt just so much more lighter and fun and
interesting, because I had the almost opposite read on it.
I have seen people comment that a big difference was in the movies, Olaf was objectively evil.
Yeah.
Where in the books, Olaf would hide that he's evil. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but
Yeah.
I know people are disappointed with the ending.
They go to Naples, right?
I don't know who either of these actors are, so I'm just going to say my preferred actor for both Ebenezer Scrooge and Count Olaf is Rowan Atkinson.
Okay, yeah. I could
yes.
see Rowan Atkinson as an Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson has done Ebenezer Scrooge.
Okay, great.
It was in
Wow,
the black... This has
came off-
happened.
Yes, it was in the Blackadder Christmas special,
Yeah,
of
and-
course.
I recommend everyone watches it on the basis that the twist is Ebenezer Scrooge is a good person to begin with. And the whole thing is about Ebenezer Scrooge becoming a bad person.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's pretty
This
good.
was not the expected response I had when I said Rowan Atkinson. I was just like, who's the fucking goofiest goober I can think of?
I think Wallace Shawn, maybe.
Cam isn't an actor officially, so I couldn't say him. Wallace Shawn?
Yeah. He yells... I don't know. I haven't seen The Princess Bride in years.
Oh, I saw it
because
I
I
saw
don't
it
really
recently.
like it as a movie. But Wallace Shawn is the guy who does the iocane powder and yells "inconceivable."
Inconceivable!
Yeah, that's the one.
No, he's good.
He's that lemon grabby motherfucker.
Talk about lemon grab. I have been watching Adventure Time over the past year. I was watching it with my siblings, but my sister went to Spain. It's so good. It's really well made and funny, and the characters have depth. And there's nothing like a children's show to just drop the most massive lore bombs on you, just very casually. Because Adventure Time is a children's show. There's only one human in it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Jake.
And it's no, it's Jake the dog and Finn the human. The fun will
Fuck.
never end. It's Adventure Time.
Fuck!
And it's kind of strange, but whatever. It's a fantasy world, and then it slowly kind of builds on that, and you realize through subtle environmental cues in the episodes and whatnot that it's kind of post-apocalyptic. And I'm not that far. I'm in season 4. There's 10 seasons with 30 episodes each or something. And there's just an episode where they just reveal that one of the main characters, Ice King, who is this, really shitty king, is ice powers. He constantly tries to kidnap princesses.
Yeah, he's like a little gremlin guy.
Yeah,
He's blue.
he used to be they find a recording of him, which is he's a scientist. It's, he's I've been collecting these artifacts and I'm not one to believe in the supernatural. But this crown I found in Finland, and it's you get to learn that the Ice King was not always the Ice King. He was once just a weird scientist.
Yeah, he
who
was a guy.
found a magical artifact that corrupted him. He had a wife. Finland exists in this universe, which implies the existence of every other. It's just the most casual episode, and then it's just oh, actually, hey guys, this world is not a magical fantasy. Well, it is, but it's the same world that we live on.
To bring it back around, do we think that Adventure Time exists in the same timeline as A Christmas Prince? Because there's a lot of geopolitical implications to The Christmas Prince.
What is The Christmas Prince?
So The Christmas Prince is a Netflix trilogy of Christmas movies. I think the most recent one was A Christmas Baby, and then the middle one was A Christmas Engagement or something like that, or A Christmas Wedding.
Christmas Baby? You can just say Jesus.
And I think in movie 3, they happen to look at a world map, and oh god, I don't remember the name of the country anymore. Andovia. It's Andovia.
Okay,
But
so you lied.
Andovia, yes, occupies... I'm doing this right off the top of my head. I'm not researching it because it'll take too long to Google. But Andovia appears to occupy the same region as Poland and half of Germany and a bunch of Eastern Europe. It eclipses the Balkans as well. It is kind of stunning and a little bit horrifying, the implications of the wars, and the toll of human life that would have had to occur to make Andovia a real place.
Interesting.
I'm trying to summarize all hours of Jack and Cam yelling.
Also, apparently it's Aldovia. Google tells me.
Aldovia. Yeah, no, I was pretty close.
Yeah, you were pretty close.
Anyway, so they're the same universe. That's a theory, a show theory.
Thanks for watching. No, we haven't ended yet.
On sort of like children's shows being based on dark stuff, I want to bring this up. Thomas the Tank Engine and the Island of Sodor.
Yeah.
Have you both heard the theory that it's built like very, very dark? Like there was some coal of certain type of trains were cold. It was steam trains were cold to be replaced by diesel trains.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's the theory that two of the characters, one's called Douglas, I can't remember what the other one's called.
Thomas.
Were like
Percy. Henry.
Percy,
no,
like
it's
the Jackson?
Douglas is like, it's like the Scottish trains. And there's a theory.
McDougal.
Sure. The theory is that they were like refugees and like the last survivors of like all the Scottish trains because they were eradicated.
Wow. What is the evidence for this? Do you know the theory? Like
I don't know the evidence. I'm just going off memory. I just know like the actual like original media where Thomas Tank Engine came from was supposed to be much more darker than what we got. There's a lot of theories from the original show that it was quite dark. Like the very famous one where they brick up a train in a tunnel.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, I think it would... Henry, I think is his name?
Yeah, I believe it was Henry.
He was like green.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's alive. He's a living guy, and they just like wall him up forever, and that's just a punishment that they do to him.
Yeah.
And some say you can still hear him screaming.
Yeah.
okay, wait. I found an article. Off the rails, chilling theory claims that Thomas the Tank Engine is actually set in a bleak totalitarian dystopia. The theory goes that the island of Sodor is the steam engine's only safe zone on the scorched earth where trains are cannibalized and sold off for scrap if they dare to resist their all-powerful master, the Fat Controller.
The big theory of this is the scrapyard, which to us is like, oh, it's just a scrapyard. To the trains, it's literally a graveyard of their friends' corpses where all the diesel trains hang out. I think one of the very first episodes.
It's like a human abattoir, but for trains.
Like the
train battoir.
Like the diesel engines are the villains of the story.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, let's go scrap the steam trains, which pretty much means let's go execute them. And this is a kid show.
Fun for the whole family.
Apparently, in the books, one of the steam trains is this website is just the worst. It's just so bad.
Why doesn't UniSFA have this series?
In the Thomas the Tank Engine books, trains are shown being dismembered and cannibalized, and there's one where a train gets its face cut off for disobedience.
Is it still alive after its face is cut off?
Yes.
Also, secondary questions. Do the trains bleed?
Doesn't seem so. There's another one in the show where...
The trains have mouths. Do they eat food?
They eat coal.
Yeah, but do they eat coal through their human mouths or through like their engine where coal is meant?
They have drivers.
No, do they?
Yeah, they have drivers. People get inside them,
and they collect coal.
Yeah,
I think the mouths are just for verbal communication only. But it's weird because in the original show, the mouths don't move.
They have cheeks though, which implies like a mouth space.
They got the jaws. They have like eyebrows.
Do they have teeth? Does anyone know if the trains have teeth?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. They absolutely do.
Okay, cool.
They've got that bright, glowy smile.
Yeah.
Basically, there was the original Thomas Tank Engine series with Ringo Starr that were just models. And then a few years later, when things were getting a bit updated, they made CGI animated trains.
Yeah.
And of course, the infamous movie Thomas Tank Engine and the Magical Railroad. Don't watch it; it's just boring.
Okay, so when are we watching this?
Don't they just find like a cute like girl red train engine, and she's the magical engine?
Yeah, that's pretty
wow.
Much
We found a girl train.
It's also got a.
Finally, we will be able to rebuild the species.
Apparently, in the show, that at one point one of the trains gets like buried alive. Like they put him in a thing and they brick it up.
Yeah. We were describing this. Doesn't one of the trains get, like, shunted into, like, a tar pit?
Yeah.
And they're like, this is a fine punishment. Let's go about our business.
There was, like, a an engine car. I call like I can't remember the exact word.
Like a caboose.
A caboose, yeah, that just got thrown into the ocean. It just got pushed off the track into the ocean. And it's a kids show. It's like
I
it
don't
looks
want
so
to play with
cool.
you anymore, Woody. Bye.
The thing is, it's one of those things where it's like, are we overthinking this as adults?
No, absolutely not.
And then looking back, but then all the evidence point to, no, this stuff was just dark, that was made into a children's show rather than the other way round.
The thing is, like, kids' development rise, like, you don't really get a sense of, like, life or death or, like, fully fledged, like, empathy until you're about 7 or 8 years old. And as far as I remember, Thomas the Tank Engine was aimed at, like, 4 to 5 year olds. Mm-hmm. So, like, these kids don't have a concept that the trains are alive and have, like, complex, which is not their fault, obviously. Like, they're very young children and their brains are developing. As adults, though, I think it's fine to recognize the breaches of the Geneva Convention that Sodor has wrought.
Yeah, but that's just a theory.
Show
science theory.
In defense of Sodor, it is the last refuge for these trains from a horrible, horrific war where they're getting it.
I don't know. I don't feel like
genocided.
that's like, well, it could be worse, you know. I feel like that's a bad argument. I feel like you're actively working against train utopia, James.
I think if I'm a refugee, my host government should just be able to throw me into a tar pit when they feel like it.
Apparently, I was searching up, like, I searched up initially Thomas the Tank Engine refugee theory. And it turns out, like, 2 years ago, they added a new train who's, like, a refugee from, like, Kenya to highlight, like, refugee issues and stuff. I didn't click on any articles. I just, like, read Thomas the Tank Engine's new railway friend is a refugee from Kenya called Nia to teach younger viewers about equality and diversity. The new train aims to teach children... New refugee character for Thomas the Tank Engine. The new train aims to teach children about female empowerment, gender equality, and the issues facing refugees. A United Nations advisor worked on the storylines. Sir, we've got an important project for you. Sir, I need... The island of Sodor calls for aid. Oh, I don't remember that country. They part of the UN. They are now.
So,
Like,
obviously kids' shows are, like, a really important place to, like, be spreading the message of diversity and introducing kids to, like, the fact that, like, people have many different experiences, and just because these things aren't happening to you, that doesn't mean that they're, like, without value and without merit. However, I'm really questioning why Thomas the Tank Engine was the show to do that on, and not, say, a show with, like, live human people for whom the analogy might be, you know, might land a little bit better.
Thomas the Tank Engine as a show was popular with kids because it was just cool-looking trains.
That's are trains.
I think
the episodes were like 5 minutes long, so they were really short. Like, because the episodes and stories didn't matter. It was just trains.
I think when you're a kid, right, like, you don't have, like, as much a developed sense of self, maybe, where you see something that, like, talks, and, like, I mean, the trains are personified, and you're like, yeah, that's good enough. It's a, you know,
cool.
Like, they don't need... Not to say that we don't need representation of any kind of kids' media. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, kids will be able to, like, move from trains to humans. You know? And that's why we can represent them as trains.
I can't wait until we get the queer trains, though.
Yeah, when are we getting the trans trains?
Yeah, right?
The trans ones.
I think we already have.
What?
I think there's a gay train.
Gay trains.
What? Why? What? Why? What?
Diversity.
Thomas the Tank Engine has a new gay friend.
What? Why?
The second link.
What? So, like...
The second link is James X. Edward, Thomas and Friends fanfic from Pinterest. And then...
What, from Pinterest?
Or, no, I don't know if it's a fanfic, it just says James X. Edward.
That could be from literally any piece of media ever. I think that could be from
No,
Twilight.
it says Thomas and Friends, Thomas the Tank Engine after it. And then, also on Pinterest, it's Thomas, and then in caps, the gay train. Wait, I want to read about...
Is he rainbow-coloured?
I want to read about Thomas the Tank Engine and his new gay friend.
Okay, let's just all sit in dead silence while John reads this article. Oh, he's making some expressions. He's...
What?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Fill
do
us
not
in.
understand. This article is 2 paragraphs long at that, and I do not see any references to the show. It is...
I made up a Thomas the
Oh,
Tank Engine
no,
character in my
okay.
head, and now I'm pissed.
Okay, no, it's the Times. I have to pay to get the full article.
Oh, Christ.
Can I tell you... Can I just read out this article?
No, bill it to UniSFA, that's fine.
Can I read out what this article starts with?
Yeah.
Thomas the Tank Engine has a new gay friend by Matthew Paris in 2019. Have you ever named a locomotive? Seize any opportunity. I cannot tell you what fun it was at Branton Station on Friday to rip an LGBT rainbow colours silk curtain from the nameplate and name a huge diesel electric loco Pride of GB Rail Freight. I say rip. Carried away in my enthusiasm and recalling photos of the Queen tugging ineffectually curtains that wouldn't open, I gave the gesture maximum welly and succeeded in tearing off the fabric's magnetic frame as well as the curtain. I told our bemused little audience, in brackets the small complement of traditional train spotters looked puzzled by the gay extravaganza, that the journey from being told by the government chief whip in 1982 to shut up about homosexuality to naming a 3,300 horsepower.
The commodification of gay identity really is there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Also, like, I don't know, it feels like if this is about a Thomas the Tank Engine character, which I can't even be convinced it is,
Yeah.
they might have just been talking about trains in Britain.
Yeah, that just seems like we're unveiling a new train that is gay because we decided it.
I'm not sure what's it about.
I like the implication that the crowd were confused because of this gay extravaganza, as opposed to the crowd were just confused because what's happening. They're just here to see a train.
I
They
mean,
are-
that's what what's
sounds-
happening is a gay extravaganza.
Yeah,
right?
it sounds like
Yeah.
they're here to witness the unveiling of a train name.
Yeah.
It says no.
And
It says it was
surprised
just.
the progress flag was also there for a
It says it
little
was
bit.
just the usual train spotters, though.
Ah.
What is a train spotter apart from that movie?
I mean, they're guys who like trains.
Yeah, train
I say
spotters.
guys, I believe it's like a masculine skewed hobby, but women can be train spotters as well.
Oh, fair enough.
Train spotters, just like bird spotters, they just go and
I believe it was
Get
bird
one.
Yeah.
watchers.
They have like manuals full of trains, and they're
Oh,
like,
that's pretty
yeah, that
fun.
engine. Fuck
pretty
yeah.
fun.
That's kind of rare. I'm glad that I saw it.
Nice.
yeah, because there's still a few like steam trains that go around just for train spotters because it's like a historical thing.
Oh,
I
that's
suppose now.
lovely.
That's
Yeah.
nice. I'm
Yeah.
glad people can spot
And
trains.
Skimbleshanks is there.
I'm glad people can spot trains and sometimes be confused by gay extravaganzas.
Yeah.
Do you think bird watchers get the same thing?
I
Like,
think
they
bird
watch birds
watchers
and then,
probably
like,
get
what is
more
this?
gay extravaganzas, but less
Yeah.
happiness. Oh yeah, that one really tickled you, John.
I wasn't expecting it. I didn't see you just like straight up claiming that bird watchers are sad as a potential.
I mean, there are no birds still in circulation just for the enjoyment of bird watchers.
Yeah, that one car rental company, they got rid of them all. No birds. I don't think I even have a favorite Christmas movie. I haven't watched many.
Okay, what's the one you've seen the most?
I haven't seen a Christmas movie in so long.
Okay, so obviously I have an ironic answer to this question, but I have an unironic one, so I'll share
hope
that
it's
with
the
you first.
same.
It is not.
What's that unironic one?
The unironic one is Arthur Christmas, which
Oh,
is
that one.
yeah.
Oh, I figured it out. By the way, the one I've seen the most is Polar Express.
Polar Express is not good to look at, and that's how Sue sees it. Nice little Glee reference for anyone in the audience who was keeping up.
Polar Express is a very well, like, other than the way
Oh, I
it
forgot it was
visually
animated.
looks, Polar Express, how clever it is behind the scenes with, what was the famous actor's name who did most of the voices for it?
Jim Carrey, Michael Caine,
It was in Forrest Gump.
Neil Patrick Harris.
I've got such
James, you're looking at me like
Tom Hanks,
like those
Daryl
Tom
Sabara.
Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Tommy
Tom
Hanks.
So, if you watch Polar Express and then go through go through the credits, you'll notice like Tom Hanks voices a lot of the same character, like different characters.
No, they just didn't want to be associated with the movie. It's like an Alan Smithy type situation.
Polar Express is
Who are we going to give this one to? Just give it to Tommy again.
okay. I'm going to say something. Like,
Yeah.
you know how we have video game remakes?
Unfortunately, yes.
We kind of need movie remakes where they just take Polar Express and just make it look good.
Yeah, like a remaster?
A remaster.
I
yeah,
think-
that's what I mean,
no,
not remake,
no,
remaster.
I think people have been asking for that, and they're like, okay, we'll make these old Disney movies live action, and it's not what we want.
Yeah, if
that's
anything, they've unmastered them.
Yeah.
That's different because
They've read them.
you're changing, going from animated to live action isn't the same medium, and also Disney don't remaster them. They change the stories to fit whatever the writer wants. I haven't seen any of the Disney live actions.
No,
because-
but you don't need to.
no.
Do we really need to?
Yeah.
I mean, the original Lion King was just perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah.
What,
Yeah,
why
so
make
many
it
of them, like, why? Disney, I have a question for you. Why?
money?
There we have it.
That's
There we
us.
have it.
We're Disney.
I
We got Disney on for the podcast.
Hey, I'd like to welcome our guest to this episode, Walt Disney. Big Walt himself, the big dub. Also, I really need to go to the bathroom, so if you just talk while I'm gone, yeah. Maybe talk about Elf.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure you've heard about Elf, but I know that James hasn't.
I have. I've seen Elf.
Oh, you've seen Elf. How good. I won't have to recap it for the audience then. So, a lot of people think that Elf is my favourite Christmas movie. Understandably so, because I have seen it probably over 200 times now.
Elf's interesting to me because it has the recipe to just be a terrible movie.
Oh, no, it is.
I don't think it is. I think it's decent. I think it's good, but I think it's like average. It's watchable. It's fairly harmless. I think the start of it's the best. The start of it when in the North Pole is probably the best. But it is one of those generic stories of person goes to New York things happen. Many movies have done it. It didn't step out of bounds, and again did that thing where the guy, a character who Will Ferrell plays, is an adult but acts like a child.
Yeah.
And then falls in love, which is a little bit creepy.
He has that sort of, childish wonder that we all hope to recoup at Christmas.
Yeah.
However, turning the story around, when I said that I've seen Elf 200 times, that's not some kind of vague hyperbole because I've seen it a lot of times. I've counted, and I've seen Elf more than 200 times.
Why?
A couple of years ago, when I was going through some unstable living, instead of everyone talking about my life situation, I thought, wouldn't it be funny if when I was in UniSFA, I just really publicly watch Elf every single day and make that a big thing. So that's what I did. I started on December the 1st of 2019, I want to say, and I watched Elf every single day of that December. And the thing is, when you're watching Elf on December 1st, it's pretty good. Elf's not a terrible Christmas movie. And then you watch it the next day and you notice, a couple of background details about Elf, and you're like, you know what, actually, Elf's pretty good. But then on day 3 is when the coin flips in the air, and you're like, you've reached the top of the Elf bell curve, and you're like, oh, this is as good as it gets, huh? And then you're on the other side. And for the next 10 days, Elf begins to get progressively worse and worse and worse.
Okay, there's a theory. I'm going to bring out some economics here. It's called the law of diminishing returns. So for every consumption of elf, you get utility, which is essentially happiness.
Yeah.
So the first time it's like, this is pretty good. The second time, like you said, you notice more, and the third time, you've seen it all. Then you keep watching, so your utility from each watch gets lower to the point where it gets to 0, which means you don't get any happiness from it, but you're not getting unhappy from it. Then it goes below 0.
And at that point, you will be on December the 17th or so. You will dip below the elf vent horizon, if you will. But then on December 26th, something magical will happen. You will realise that there aren't really that many days of December left. And you'll almost gather within your heart a fond nostalgia for Elf. A longing. Oh, I have so little time with Will Ferrell, with Zooey Deschanel, with James Caan. Rest in peace, James Caan. You were the best. So little time with any of them. And then it will be December 31st, New Year's Eve, and you will have no more elves left to watch.
Merle, I'm back, and I already know exactly what you're talking about. Is this like the Elfmas thing where you watch Elf every day of December, but like each day you watch it one more time?
That was what I did the year after.
What was this year?
Well, I mean, this year coming up, I'm doing the movie.
The movie?
The movie of movie fame.
You can say it. It's only me who can't.
Oh, I thought out of respect for you, I'm gonna watch Morbius every day of December just to see how big of a hole that'll punch right through the old brain.
We did have a debate at camp on whether to screen that movie in UniSFA. Even the people there who took it as a joke didn't want us to screen it in UniSFA. We
decided not to. We did establish the dichotomy between people who have sex and people who poop their pants. Which one are you? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the YouTube comments.
I'm sure the YouTube algorithm will love it.
Let me know in an email whether you've shat your pants.
Yeah, I'd like you to message Merlin.
Yeah. My email is merlinhoskins@gmail.com. Get in touch.
I need to explain this because people don't get it. That have sex, poop my pants. It comes from the song XA by Off the Meds that occurs in the movie during a scene where Milo, played by Matt Smith...
what movie was this, sorry?
That movie. The one with the aforementioned movie.
Yeah.
The fun thing, I've only just realised this. The song is in Zulu, as in the language, apart from 2 words, which are have sex. The reason for this, I'm not sure why, but as it's in a different language, completely different, people thought it was in English because it literally starts with have sex.
Okay, so like how I feel when K-pop that I'm not expecting comes on, and it starts out with English and then goes into a different language that my brain is still like putting down the railroads to understand it, and I think I'm having a stroke.
Yeah, so this song goes have sex, and then it'll start the Zulu, and it sounds like I poop my pants, I poop my pants, my pants.
Just one of the many magical things for me to look forward to next month.
Bro, please let me come over to your house at like day 15,
yeah,
where you have the least amount of hope.
No, the least amount of hope I will have is on day 23.
23?
Yep.
All right. Have a very Morbmas.
I like to point out that that movie is on Amazon Prime. It's on the front page of Amazon Prime. I would recommend that nobody watch it because it's just boring.
Don't watch it officially.
Like everybody who really, really hates me talking about that movie hates talking about it because they had to watch the movie.
There was a guy on YouTube I know who did like a challenge for like 2 weeks straight or 3 weeks straight or like something like that, or maybe it was 1 week. I think 2. Went to the cinemas and watched Morbius every day, and because he didn't want to support like Morbius, he just decided
buy a ticket to a different movie.
Yeah, he just bought a ticket to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, good for him. I hear that was really good.
Yeah, so he wanted to support it. I didn't finish watching the movie, the video, so I have no idea how it went. I was like, I'm not really gonna watch this guy talking about Morbius for this long. No.
And the answer, apparently no.
Apparently no. Maybe I'll give it another shot.
Yeah, you'll be listening to me talk about Morbius for at least twice that long.
I mean, we could put it on in UniSFA. I have, not as a screening.
Yeah, we could just layer it very quietly in the background of the whole
Overheard
podcast.
UniSFA special episode.
Yeah, we just upload the audio track for Morbius.
Talking about Amazon, the only movie I own one movie on Amazon, and it is American Psycho. Mm-hmm. It's one of like the 2 movies I own digitally, or just 2 movies I own. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things is if I'm ever anywhere and I'm waiting for something, and I pull out my laptop and I'm like, I'm just gonna go study for a bit while we're waiting, and then I pull out and I start watching American Psycho.
So what's the other movie you own digitally?
I can't remember. I've bought some movies for screenings. I think it's Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, alright.
Like the
fair
original
enough.
anime. Which I do need to rewatch because we screened it and I was not paying attention.
Can we talk about this movie? Because I've been wanting to talk about it, that we screened at UniSFA a few weeks ago. Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
Oh, Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. We did talk about this on another podcast.
Patrick told me about Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. Tell me about Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, please.
So it's like a parody of those slasher movies, but instead of having like girls and females, it's a fraternity, I believe it's called.
Genders. Girls and females.
That's not what I meant.
Dude, you killed him.
That's not what I meant.
I know.
Anyway, girls and females. We're on such a roll. Let's go.
Yeah, there's girls, there's females.
Instead of a sorority, it's a fraternity. And so it's a parody of that with other characters in, but instead of actually just being a parody and being terrible, it's just a really, really funny comedy.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and it has a lot of gore. If you like that, the way I always sell it is that the fact it pulls off perfectly plot twist which no other movie could, which was one character as a bag of oranges the whole time, and it's so well done. You're like, oh my god, no, they aren't, and they're like, you know it's to be true, and you're like, no, I know it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense, and they collapse into a bunch of oranges on the floor.
Oh my god.
It was so well done.
I think the worst horror movie I've seen lately is this movie that I watched with my housemate, Aveen. And I don't remember
friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Aveen. And like classic teens in a cabin by the lakeside. But the beavers will kill you. The beavers will use their giant teeth to bite and dismember you.
Why?
No, that's scary. That's
Blood.
scary. You've seen a beaver, you see that big teeth, you're like, what if that teeth was in my neck?
I mean,
Like, that's spooky.
just kick the beaver.
Yeah, but like...
But then beaver bite your leggy.
Just kick a serial killer, like,
Yeah, Freddy Krueger's not immune to my feet.
Yeah.
like Michael... Why didn't anyone just, like, kick Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my head, I get Michael Myers and Mike Myers confused a lot.
I thought they were the same person.
Yeah, are they not? Has Mike Myers, the voice of Shrek, and the Austin Powers, like, not been serial killing this whole time?
Well, he made Shrek and then his mother died and he really went down a... No, I'm just making a joke about what the backstory of Michael Myers.
Right, yes, of course.
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Austin Power, Wayne's World, Cat in the Hat, Shrek.
Yeah, no, he's a big star.
He is in all...
Yeah, no. Mike Myers has been in basically every good movie of the last century.
God, can we talk about the Cat in the Hat movie?
Yes, we can. What would you like to talk about the Cat in the Hat movie?
That it exists.
Yeah.
And that it's, like, live action.
And the baseball bat.
I think tone-wise it's one of the best Dr. Seuss adaptions I've ever seen.
It's got 4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah, well, that's their fault, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still the best.
No, that's fair enough.
Spencer Breslin's in it, and no one talks about Spencer Breslin enough. He was a child star for like a long, long time on Disney Channel, and he's just kind of evaporated from the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
You can try so hard and even hit it big, and you can still evaporate, just like the next day.
It's called growing up. You
Yeah.
have to learn.
he didn't have, the motivation to get into, like, heroin like Lindsay Lohan, so I guess we were always destined
I'm trying
to
to find
him.
the last movie he was in 2015.
Go on.
Sunshine Becomes You, and also
Becomes Me?
Becomes You, Some Kind of Hate. That's the name of the movie.
The whole thing?
Some Kind of Hate.
Alright.
Some Kind of Hate, yeah. He was in Air Buddies.
The dog movie?
The dog movie.
Yeah, okay.
I think there needs to be more dog movies. It's a long forgotten art.
I think Marmaduke's the most recent dog movie that I've seen. And Marmaduke wasn't very good. Can anyone think of a good dog movie?
Dog.
Like a good dog movie that they would watch again.
Isle of Dogs? Is that good? I've heard that was good.
I heard it was very sad.
Oh. Frank and Weenie.
I mean, if you want a good cat movie, Garfield.
Cats.
Cats and Dogs were a really good movie. Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Okay, yeah, I believe you. Scooby-Doo.
I don't know.
Movie.
I think it's underrated. And I think there are a couple of jokes in there that really stand the test of time. Cats and Dogs too. Very bad movie. Cam and I watched it on our second date, and instead of watching the movie, we took a nap together.
That's sweet.
The movie was really bad.
I Am Legend.
Yeah, you are.
I found a dog movie called Cujo, and the art on it is just it's something. Search up the Cujo movie art or whatever. It's just like this really like. Merlin, can you see that?
Oh yeah. Oh god. That looks like I made that in Photoshop.
Yeah. It's just like a little angry dog. With some of the most like early 2000s like bad like Photoshop job.
That has like the same kind of quality as that one like creepypasta image with the dog with human teeth.
I just saw it. Oh my god.
What did you see?
Fucking Cujo, the poster of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like they took the face of an actual dog and then photoshopped onto it teeth and those eyes.
Wait, is this dog with human teeth or Cujo?
Cujo.
I'm searching up dog with human teeth. Okay, wait, hold on.
Oh, Cujo Dog's a Stephen King movie.
Yeah, it figures that it looks like that then.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this was not the poster I was seeing. Why is it
John, you really sound like you're having a reaction.
Sorry, I'm just seeing this dog look. All the images in this movie is just like the saddest, most tired looking dog you've ever seen, and it's covered in blood.
Oh no, Cujo!
No, but I think the implication is that it's like the monster, and it's just like this big old friendly looking dog that looks sad.
Yeah, well, like all movie dogs, it will secretly be wagging its tail in every shot it's in, because he is a good boy happy to be at work.
Apparently the dog from The Thing didn't do that, because it was like really well trained or something.
Yeah, yeah, he didn't do that, and everyone was like kind of creeped out by it a little bit.
Well, the thing about the dog in The Thing was that it wasn't actually a dog, right? It was actually...
Wait, what?
A thing.
What?
A thing. That's what they named the movie after. It was actually a documentary.
Oh, shit. I'm confusing The Thing with Marley and Me once again.
What? What is Marley and Me?
Oh, Marley and Me is also a dog movie.
You're Please, at home, search up Marley and Me and also The Thing separately. And I'd like you to just see, like, the total, like, the juxtaposition between these movies. Oh my god. Why is this, like, couple being pulled along by a dog?
It's taking them to the kill room.
Ah, as it always does. God, this has been a podcast, huh?
It still is, man.
It still is. We're still going.
We're still going.
We can have like another 10 minutes live on air.
Come on, we can have 10 more minutes of content.
We've got
10 more minutes of content. This is what the writers of Riverdale feel like every week when they're shooting the show.
Fuck.
Only 10 minutes? That'd be a good day for them.
No, it's like 40 minutes.
Like, obviously, like, TV can't work like this. Like, everything for Riverdale is written months in advance, and then it goes to shooting, and, like, then it goes into post. But it really feels like... then, like, it goes to air. But, like, after everything. But it feels like Netflix, like, drops Riverdale episode, they wait for the reaction, feverishly write the next one, shoot. And once they get to, like, 40 minutes of content, hard cut, ship it out, reaction, do it all again. And they just do that every single week.
As media was intended to be.
Yeah.
Didn't the South Park people, like, they made episodes, like, in a week?
I can explain that. What happened was, during one of the seasons, it was the 2016 US presidential election.
Oh, yeah.
And what they were doing, well, they were releasing the episodes as it was coming out, because they had one of their mainstay characters, who was the schoolboy teacher, Mr. Garrison, as essentially Donald Trump, without having Donald Trump in South Park, but would have Hillary Clinton. So they're doing episodes that had stories that were completely unconnected with the presidential election, but a story arc that was related.
Yeah.
And what happened was, the South Park guys were like, we really hate Trump, so we're going to be very anti-Trump, and but they're South Park, they're quite clever, and they made sure to show that Hillary Clinton wasn't a great option either. South Park's message has always been, the two presidential candidates are always just terrible people, just terrible choices. So they were bringing these episodes out, and you could tell they were really leaning to Hillary Clinton's going to win the election. But then Trump won. So they had all these episodes planned out that now didn't work because Trump had won the election. So they had to go through and write it so Trump won. And you can tell at the end of the season that nothing really made sense, because you'd think it'd be a whole big thing.
Yeah, well, because they didn't plan for it.
Yeah, you take a gamble and you lose sometimes, I suppose.
That's like what happened to Supernatural during the, I want to say the 2007 writers' strike. They were going to have this big arc about, like, Sam going to hell and rescuing Dean. But then all the writers walked off set and they lost a bunch of shoot time where Supernatural just, like, couldn't be written, so they couldn't shoot anything, so it was on hiatus for ages and ages. And they get back and they only had, like... They had, like, a quarter of a season's episodes worth to do the same thing. So they were like, okay, fuck it. Like, more episodes, more filler episodes. Let's just... Dean's not going to hell in the middle of the season anymore. We'll just send him to hell at the end. And then season 4, we'll just do a Deus Ex Machina to get him out. And that's how the longest running, slow build relationship of our time was formed.
Oh, Castiel?
Yeah. Castiel was never meant to be around. Angels were never meant to be real. But that's what the writer's strike gave us.
Yeah, because if you go back to, in the first season of Supernatural...
I want to say, it's season 1 or season 2. Like, we explicitly learned that angels aren't real.
No, angels aren't real.
Someone's just, like, pretending.
Yeah, so it was very clear, like, there's no angels or, like...
Yeah.
Or... If there are angels, they're vengeful beings that aren't good. And then...
I mean, that's more or less true for most of the angels that exist in Supernatural.
Yeah. Sometimes that writer's strike just made creativity, because Castiel's a fan favourite character.
He's my special little boy, and he would never do anything bad.
And spoilers for Breaking Bad, actually. But in Breaking Bad, there was a character
it's old enough.
There was a character who was supposed to die in the first season, and that character did not die because of the writer's strike, and that character went on to be a fan favourite.
Which character?
Jesse Pinkman.
No, what?
Yeah.
We're going to have to spoil out, a lot of, like, Breaking Bad... We're going to have to...
Walter White, I was supposed to die, bitch.
Jesse! Jesse, we need to go on strike.
Which, if you think about it, would make a lot of sense within the Breaking Bad story.
Yeah.
For Walter to lose his partner early on, and
yeah, and he's really like forced to like.
I should probably search this up because
be
I
an
might be
active player.
No. We
I
love
believe.
unfounded claims.
Unfounded claim. I think dogs should vote.
I think dogs should vote. Kicked from the political discussion. Get behind your barrier.
Okay, it wasn't the writer's strike, but despite plans to kill off the character at the end of the first season, Paul's performance convinced the showrunner and head writer to keep Jesse in the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. Aaron Paul fucking knocked it out of the park with Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah, the performance was so good that he convinced the entire crew to rewrite everything and keep this character in.
Yeah.
Which,
I believe he and Bryan Cranston own a bar together now.
Aww.
Isn't that nice?
What are they? Do you think they sell? They surely don't just sell alcohol, right? They sell some other stuff on the side.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like, do you
they
think
probably...
there's a very conveniently placed alley behind the bar that like is very far away from potential light sources?
I thought you were gonna ask me whether they sold like funny meth themed chips.
No, just straight up meth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they do.
Wow. Okay, we figured
Yeah,
out.
there's like a neon sign inside of the bar that says "This way for ice,"
Yeah, this way for ice. Everyone thinks it's a joke,
and then
right?
there's like a cop with a butterfly net standing right outside the door.
Everyone thinks it's a joke because, like, you know, they're...
Yeah.
and then, but, no, they actually do sell it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
the cop still arrests you, but you do get the meth.
You do get the meth. You
Yeah.
get to keep it for free.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like
Because you believed.
Yeah.
You believed in Aaron and Brian and their dream of owning a bar together.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you go to a place you get free meth, you will get arrested, but, like, you get to keep it.
Okay, well, that's a chance I'm going to have to take. And then I
Dang it, I got
bite my
arrested.
way out of the butterfly net that I'm trapped in.
Yeah, with your your ice-fueled rampage. No, but I thought with South Park, I thought like in the early seasons they said they worked better under that time pressure. Because, like, you know, with creativity, right, you can just, like, go over something forever. But with this, they forced them to just be like, we've got a week, you know. We can't go over this forever and ever. We've just got to, like, trust in what we have, instinct.
A lot of it was South Park's formula changed because it's a very long-stage show, and the reason why it's existed for so long and has kept up is because the writers are very good at keeping it up with the times.
Yeah.
So that season was a serialized season, so the episodes weren't individual stories. They linked into each other.
I just thought it was like not even just that season. It was like other seasons. They like were on a weekly schedule, just like most of South Park or something was made during that.
Well, the two people, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, were students when they made South Park.
Oh yeah. What was it originally called again?
North Park.
No, it was like something about Jesus.
Yeah, I think in the original pilot, the boys are either directly or indirectly responsible for the death of Jesus.
They made a short subject animated called Jesus versus Frosty, which had similar characters. The more you know. Oh my god, they killed Kenny. I think my first interaction with South Park was like the video games or something. My mom was a massive fan of South Park, which is strange. Because, like, I don't know. You don't... My mom it's not a person you'd meet and it would be like, yeah, she likes South Park.
I don't generally consider mums to be fans of South Park. That doesn't seem like the target demographic.
I think it was when she was younger.
When she's just turned her back on the fandom?
Yeah. She's a traitor.
Oh my god.
She's gonna get cancelled.
Guess she's a false fan.
False fan.
You can't even name 5 parks that are in South Park.
Adventure World.
Lafayette Park. Trust me, I know this. I'm a real fan, guys.
A real fan of parks.
I don't know that much about South Park. As it turns out. Like, Kenny wears a parka, maybe. He's the one in orange, right?
Yeah, he's the one in orange.
Yeah, he's the orange guy.
That, like, no one can understand, and he, like, swears in the intro.
Yeah, good.
He, like, says, like, the most profane shit, but it's all muffled, and you can't understand it.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can actually understand it.
Yeah.
If you really listen and have it high enough, you can read what he's saying, and it is just the most, profane, like, usually swearing. But Kenny's, like, the cutest character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a little guy who just happens
He's
to die
just a
each
little
episode.
guy.
He's a little guy.
Yeah.
He dies in the early seasons. He dies each episode.
Yeah.
And that was a joke. Oh my god, they killed Kenny.
The character in a thing that is just a little guy
That dies.
can't be overstated their importance.
I think, we need the character archetype, just a little guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Jade Harley, just a little guy.
Jim Carrey, Truman Show?
Just a little guy.
Do we have
Hillary
any...
Clinton in the 2016 Democratic elections, just
Just
a little guy. Actually, no, that's probably Bernie, let's face it.
Okay, we're 1.5 hours in. Do we have any final thoughts?
So the Democratic convention in 2016, huh? Any thoughts about that, guys?
The what?
The Democratic convention.
Convention? I didn't realize they held conventions for that. Like,
It's
do
like-
people cosplay as, like, different forms of democracy? Yo, guys, I'm like the Athens democracy, and everyone looks at, I'm like, Athens, and everyone, like, looks at that, and, like, all the problematic people dress up as that.
There's one guy who comes as Vermin Supreme every year, and there's less and less people who know who he is, but he still goes.
One guy comes in as, like, Kim Jong-un, and it's like, haha, yeah, Democratic Republic. So
All of the guys in Bernie cosplay just, like, stand around and, like, mosh pit to themselves, and nobody likes them because they're all insufferable.
Bernie finally gets to go to a place, and he's like, finally, I can hang with
Finally, I
people in
can sit on my
peace.
chair and be grumpy.